So I don't really think I need to tell anybody here who I am or what I do. Jonathan, of course, owner of photography by Jonathan Arlia. One of the things I specialize in are professional headshots. Today will be a live demonstration. I will need a volunteer at the right point. Oh, you want to?
Sure.
Okay, so Patrick's going to be my volunteer. Just sit tight for a second.
Unless I'm not pretty enough for this
Stop
demonstration.
it! I don't want to hear that.
You're a Victoria's Secret.
You're Santa Claus.
Ho, ho. As unaccustomed as I am to having my picture taken.
Professional headshots. I took all of those. You might recognize a person or two there. But, so, what about professional headshots? You may have heard the quote, people don't buy from businesses, they buy from other people. And having a really top-notch headshot is indispensable if you're out there meeting people or you're the face of your business. A selfie just won't cut it. It's like super quick, super easy, but it's not all the way pro. A lot of people don't know what goes into a real professional headshot. And this will be a brief, but not perfect demonstration, and we're gonna have a little bit of fun. Are you guys good? You guys down with a little bit of fun?
Yeah.
Good. I'm in the right crowd here. There's way more that goes into a really expert headshot than a lot of people know, right? There's the gear and settings and other technical things and posing and having the right mood, and all of them come together to make something really remarkable if it's done right. Every artist needs tools, right? If you're a painter, you need brushes and canvases. For me, obviously, bare minimum camera, 80mm equivalent lens, which means the focal length, zoomed in. Soft boxes or light umbros, like that one over there. Light stands, obviously. Something you may not be familiar with, a light meter. This is totally pro. If you're not very familiar with photography, some of this may seem kind of like a different language, but I'll break it down really simply. The ISO or ISO, that's a sensor. That used to be film, now it's a sensor. It's what collects the light. 100 ISO that helps you not have the graininess or the noise, the digital noise in the picture. Aperture. You can think of aperture like the aperture of the iris of your eye. It gets wider or smaller. Wider lets in more light, smaller lets in less. That also affects depth of field, which is you're aware, you've seen it everywhere these days, where there'll be a person, they're in focus, and the background is kind of blurred out. It's called bokeh, and that's depth of field. Shutter speed, I think I skipped over shutter speed. Shutter speed is how quickly a little mechanical curtain lets in light. So the faster it does that, it'll freeze motion better. If it's really slow, you're gonna see blurry when people move around and such. RAW, you may not know what that is. It is called a digital negative. It just basically gathers more information for a picture. White balance is basically color temperature. Every light has its own temperature. Sunlight is typically blue, tungsten is typically orange, right? And then other things, you want to have a non-distracting background. You want to have that focal length of 80 millimeters. It helps not distort the image of the person you're photographing. Obviously, stabilize the camera. Now, eliminate color contamination. You might have a color cast that you don't want in your picture. Some other light source or something's reflecting off something, and it's like super orange or super green or yellow or whatever. You don't really want that. Off-camera strobe or light. That helps it look more professional. When it's on the camera, And by the way, never use the on-camera flash, the little built-in thing, it's horrible. But off-camera makes for better lighting. The light meter dials in precise settings, so you know exactly where your exposure is. Gray card. This little guy, all you do is you take a picture of it, either before your photo shoot or after your photo shoot, in the same lighting. And then when you go into editing, you do like a little eyedropper, and you click on it, and it'll give you spot on color temperature. So the guy isn't super blue or whatever. And then pose it. Obviously you want your subject to have good posture. Weight distribution, I'll demonstrate that. See how I'm standing, right? I just step back, and I put my weight on my back, foot. That's one way of weight distribution.
I was looking forward to the weight distribution aspect of the demo, but I guess that's not what you mean.
It's much appreciated. You're a little bit of comedy. We love you guys. Okay, focus on the eyes. The eyes are so critical, right? Have them in focus. The rule is you want to have your focus spot on to the nearest eye. When I was doing this early on in my career, I made a mistake of, okay, I'm going to focus on the guy's chest or whatever. And then you see the eyes and they're blurry and it doesn't look that great. So you have to focus on the eyes and don't forget the ears, right? Something you might not think about, but you move your head too much to the left or right. And one of your ears might kind of like halfway be there and it kind of looks weird. So you either want to show both ears or you want to hide the back one. The mood. You can have every other part of this spot on perfect. If your subject it looks like the Grinch, I mean, they look like they are not having any fun today at all, that's not going to be a good representation of your business. Like this guy is, I don't know what else. You want to look either positive, happy, calm, professional, serious, positive is the word. And then encourage the subject to be natural. You can pose somebody to death, and then what you wind up getting usually is the person is tense and uncomfortable, and they don't look comfortable. It translates so easily. Not good. I did forget something about the eyes is when you're doing a headshot, or you're doing a portrait, and you're going to see the person's eyes, and they're supposed to be looking at the camera. First of all, you want their eyes, their focus to be right on the lens. And second of all, they should engage in their mind that they are actually looking at somebody or someone they know. So that helps them not look like a deer in headlights. They look more engaged, more focused, right? So that's a breakdown of all of that. I need a volunteer who's confident.
Do I need to take my shirt?
He's getting into the boudoir. He's ready for his boudoir shoot.
No, that's not the weight distribution we were talking about, sir. Sir, keep your clothes on. Sir.
Come over here.
Sir. Epic.
This is part of the job. Setting up, configuring, adjusting. It's just part of it. So what we got here, we got the camera. We have, this is the key light, the main light. The umbrella makes the softer light. This is a background strobe or flash. The purpose is to bounce some light in the background, and it's supposed to make it look better. This is not the ideal, perfect environment, but we're just going to see how it works. You guys are actually going to see what I see. You see, right?
There's Bree. This is more than we bargained for. Go, Patrick. Go.
Patrick, you're just too tall.
Patrick, go. Patrick. live stream. Let's do this.
Like I said, this is not perfect.
Patrick is perfect. Sir.
He's doing a live headshot presentation. This is awesome.
At this point, what I do is I test and make sure that the light is where it needs to be before we start really going. So you see that back here in focus, and then both of them I believe are on.
Oh,
And I basically have those settings.
Except at night.
So all right, here we go, right? Let's see what the light is.
Daytime pictures are really difficult.
Yay!
Now it's either going to be, so the light does not look bad, actually where it is. You can see if you look that the flash is reflected in his eyeglasses. For such a situation, you can just have the client take off their glasses, or you can adjust the light in a different way. So why don't we do this, right? I'm going to move it up here. All right? And it's all about angles. Think pool, like you're knocking this ball and that ball and it bounces off, and it's all about angles. So let's see what we're dealing with here now. All right. You still see it. All right, try taking off your glasses.
Tip my glasses.
What you can do is, so maybe look to your right just a little bit. Let's try that. It's a little bit better. It's a process. It is. Isn't he fun?
He's so fun!
Yeah.
Oh, that's gonna be the best one. I can feel it. There it is. There it is. We got it. We got it.
Well,
We got it.
I could go more into this. Basically, either I adjust the angle of the light until it's not reflecting in the eyeglasses, or he just takes off the glasses. But you got that. Now, what I want to do now, that was just a demonstration for this, right? Now I'm gonna explain a little bit about posing. Alright, so Patrick, first of all, what I'd like you to do is pick a leg, actually take your right leg, so just kind of move it back a little bit, right? You put your other leg forward, just more, right? And then just kind of like put a little bit of your weight on the back leg, right? Okay? So now, think about your posture. You know what good posture is, right? Now, Patrick has a full beard, so that is really covering up his neckline. Usually that's not the case. And you gotta kind of pose for that. You don't want it too down, too up, too back, too forward. If you press your tongue to the top of your mouth, believe it or not, it eliminates some of the extra neck tricky thing. Step back. I'm just going to turn my torso a little bit. I'm going to move my head, right? And then that kind of slenderizes me and just makes it look a little bit better. There's also the 3-point check. You may never have heard of this. 3-point check comprises your collarbones, your chin, and your eyes. And each of these things can be facing the camera or turned away from the camera, depending on what you do. The more head-on it is, the stronger it is, the more assertive that pose is. So let's try with Patrick. Look at the camera a little bit, right? Right. Now, give us some examples. Turn your head like you're looking over there, right? We'll see what that looks like, right? Look right back at me. Further. So that's more head-on, obviously. Now, that's the head. He can look with his eyes to left or right. Obviously, variations there. Now, watch his ear, okay? So, yeah, you can see that ear and that ear, right? You want to either show it or not show it. I want to focus on mood for a second, okay? Pretend you're angry or you're just resentful. I'm not dealing with a guy who does angry really good. Okay, so
He's not the Grinch, he's Santa Claus.
Roar! Be a cat! Be scary! Roar! Come on, you can do it.
the short and sweet of it is, what do you want your mood to be that's going to be your picture that's on thousands of business cards? It's going to be on your website, right? Do you want to go for that very professional, clean cut? I'm serious. I'm not angry. I'm not sad. I'm just serious. Or maybe you're a performer and you want shine. You want that effervescent, bubbly personality, big teethy smile, whatever. You want to do what is you. You want your best self. Right? And I tell some of my clients that it sometimes helps before, like the day of, before the shoot, listen to some comedy, listen to some really good music beforehand, and put you in a good mood. There are so many other things I could touch on, but in a nutshell, that's it. Not a perfect demonstration, but it is a demonstration. Thank you very much. Thank you, Patrick.
Patrick! Thank you.